Alright, we are starting a new series on this channel. I hope to do this for as long as I possibly can. Essentially, what we will be doing is we will be picking a random verse in the Bible. We're not going in any particular order. Just whatever I feel, called, if that makes any sense, what I feel called to do. And we'll just read it. We'll read a verse or two, maybe even like 5 verses, and see and try to make sense of that, and more specifically, how we can apply that in today's life. Um, while we do that, I don't want to. I don't want to just have generic sitting in a flat background, um, just flat background PNG, or me sitting at a desk, Bible open, or standing. I know most creators do this. They stand in front of they're. I'm not saying this is wrong per se. But they just stand there in front of the kitchen wall and just talk, or they're outside. Nothing against going outside. I love going outside. I would right now if it wasn't dark and raining. Um, but there could be something that doesn't make it feel so lifeless in a sense. Um, but today's verse comes from Proverbs 16, and we will be reading verses, or chapter 16, verses 1 to 5, or 7. My bad. It reads, "The plans of the mind belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are pure in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the spirit. Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. The Lord has made everything for its purpose, even the wicked for the day of trouble. Everyone who is arrogant is an abomination to the Lord. Be assured, he will not go unpunished. By loyalty and faithfulness, iniquity is atoned for. By the fear of the Lord, a man avoids evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him." So, this this passage reading says that we as people, we create, we have our plans. However, God has the final say. When we do good in the eyes of God, everything is fine. Everything works out. The Lord does things. The Lord does things for a reason. Um, Everything in this world has its purpose. No dogs. Everything in this world has its purpose, and everything has its place. There's a time and a place for everything. Um, and for those who are wicked and do not have good works, or not necessarily that works are, the only important part. They are an important part, but not the only important part. But those whose works are wicked, they do not do well in the eyes of God. Um, we are told that they will receive justice. Unjust actions do not go unpunished by the Lord. He is merciful, yes, but that does not mean that he won't seek out, or he won't make those who have wronged us atone for what is a loving father if not protective of his children. For having faith in the Lord and for your unwavering loyalty to him, you are rewarded. But and when you are good with the Lord, when you do things that in his eyes are pleasing, then even those who want you dead will make peace. Like, you can have the worst enemy in the world, but God assures us that do right by him, the Lord, and your enemies will be at peace. They will not come after you with such vengeance. Um, so that is today's Bible verse. The Bible, I'll bookmark this. The Bible I'm using is the Great Catholic Adventure Second Catholic Edition Bible. A very good Bible. If you do need one, I recommend it. It's got color-coded chapters from the various eras in Christian history. Like, for example, the book of Proverbs, if I can get back to it, that is color-coded purple, which, according to a page very early on in the book, it represents like the richness of the royalty of kings. Um, it is, because they don't do this now, but back in the day, purple was a very royal color because it was so rare, so hard to make. Purple was seen as something that it was a luxury, basically. You had it if you were rich. If you were not rich, then you didn't have it. Yeah, right here on page 340, it says Royal Kingdom era purple, the color of royalty. Books include 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, so on and so forth. All right. Um, Forewarning, I am playing with Keep Inventory on because I am a sore loser. If I go to the Nether and I get smacked to death by some piglins and I lose all my gear, I'm going to crash out. And believe me, I don't want to crash out. This is a very expensive controller. It is like $70. That's about as much as Mario Kart. Don't know if anyone. Ooh. Sorry, I'm not on the menu. Don't try to stab me to death before. Jeez. Um, don't know who's actually gonna buy the Switch 2. I will be surprised if the scalpers, uh, even make any profit. That would be the funniest thing. The scalpers try to. They're out here having ChatGPT write them a program. They got the perfect script. They're gonna rob Nintendo. They're gonna buy all the Switch 2s, and then come launch day, they get all this Nintendo Switch 2s, and then oh no, no one's buying them. If $450 was already an outrageous price, no one is gonna buy like a $500 Nintendo Switch 2, especially from like an untrustworthy source. Honestly, this might be one of the very first gaming consoles that scalpers cannot scalp, simply because no one's gonna buy it. Who's gonna buy the Nintendo Switch 2 for $500? Like, okay, yeah, I get it. Inflation is, it's kind of crazy. If you go into like an inflation calculator, you put in 300 for 2017, it is around the same price as the Nintendo Switch 2 right now. Same for the games. It's a little bit more expensive. They did kind of like round up the numbers, and that is a generous term. Um, they rounded up a little bit, but it is like roughly the same price. Um, it is roughly the same price, but it's still outrageous because, dang, okay, it's still an outrageous price because like I knew people were saying, oh yeah, gaming's always been a luxury. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. But when these are, you can't call it a luxury and then like say this is for children. or like have something very clearly advertised as for kids, like Mario Kart and basically all Nintendo franchises, except for maybe Legend of Zelda. I think that's always been more of a teenagers game or like an adolescent game. But most Nintendo products have always been kids are the main demographic. Kids will buy this. This is for the youngins. Um, so you can't call it a luxury. You can't call gaming a luxury and then have, this is for kids. Because like, let's be honest, you no luxuries are advertised as for kids. My kids are not being advised to go out and eat like caviar at a 3 Michelin star restaurant. I don't even have kids, but my point still stands. I'm not as a child or legally as a child, biologically as a child. I am not being told go forth and order $500 gold plated steaks. I apologize for the weird cut. Um, my sister and my mother just came back from doing their nightly activities, and my sister has brought home a new kitten, a white one. I will post a picture on screen like right about now. Very, very cute little girl, adorable little thing. One of God's finer creations. No, that's not to say that some of the creations are bad. In fact, all of them have their purpose, including mosquitoes. Uh, like people don't realize, like even if disease and all that is, oh, sin, we cause disease, the devil made disease. Even that God makes it work because everything has a place.
You are a black man.
Um, everything has a place. Like disease and mosquitoes and parasites and all that, they help keep the ecosystem in check. They keep help this delicate balance of, the circle of life and all that. It keeps it in check. Now, of course, as humans, we feel self-entitled to just about anything on the planet. If it exists, apparently it's ours for the keeping. Uh, so that's why we see mosquitoes. They before we developed good medicine, they never were really much of a bother to us. Like, or after we developed medicine, they became less of a bother. Before we had medicine, yeah, they were definitely a like even in places that don't have medicine, they still are. They are really fearsome predators. Like they're not even. They're like the size of my pinky finger, and they're somehow one of the most deadly predators out there. It's actually insane. They're meant to be basic food consumption for birds and frogs and whatnot, but somehow they are the most lethal animal on the planet. You would think it'd be something with big claws and teeth, but no. This small winged insect is what is doing humanity in. What a world we live in. But like those have their place in the ecosystem, right? We don't respect them because we're more evolved. They've gone from the most deadly predator to, in some parts of the world, just a pest. Something that exists, that we perceive as existing, just to our detriment. They do nothing else other than make us itchy and swarm us in the summer. Some of us in the summer because, they have blood type preferences, apparently. Um, that's what we see them as, when in reality, they actually serve a greater purpose. Like, think about it. Malaria. Um, oh, sure. Like if they're spreading malaria, right? That's one way to keep the animals in check. You can't have a big population if everyone's dying from malaria. Um, and if and parasites are like that too, because eventually a parasite's gotta kill its host. You can't keep siphoning energy from a source without eventually killing the source. Like eventually that battery's gonna drain, and you're gonna have to go to someone else, right? Um, that helps keep everything in check. Because parasites, they don't care. They only target, their only targets are whoever they can get their hands on. And that's wild. Like, if you think about it from that perspective, right? Their only targets are like just anybody. Like, the only discrimination that a parasite has is that you are not a viable. You possess some means, or you are out of their reach. Like, think about how many parasites humans have. That guy's about to throw. 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 I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm so close. Go. Like, think about it. We humans, we have so many parasites, right? Like, we have tapeworms, and we have all sorts of worms. Oh, we have flukes. We have the obvious. You have ticks. Um, what else? I think leech. Is a leech a parasite? If they are, then leeches as parasites. All right, please, please, please. Oh, well. You have leeches in the water when you go in. The obvious ticks, like I said, ticks, flukes, or whatever, in forests, contaminated waters, a whole bunch of parasites that the only reason that they target us is because we're available. And even the ones that, like, for example, there's this one parasite that it's very famous. It like eats the tongue of a fish and inserts itself as its tongue. Right? That parasite is. It doesn't target us because where our tongues are not big enough, or they're way too big for the parasite, right? Like, what's that parasite gonna do with us, right? We have complex thinking. Our brains are you don't quote me on this. Our brains are more complex than a fish. They have not evolved the ability to develop tools to walk on land. We are beating evolution, or we are winning at evolution, so to speak. Of course, we are not winners. Yeah, just take a look at the world around you. One look at the news, you become depressed, and you realize, oh yeah, this is why humans are not the best species. Like, evolutionary wise, we're the worst at keeping ourselves alive. We're the worst at keeping ourselves alive. So, but we do have probably one of the most complex brains. That's probably why that fish parasite doesn't take over us. Not only are our tongues too big, but our brains are probably way too complicated for them to hijack. Um, or not even, they don't even do that. They just like steal nutrients, right? So, I'm gonna cut that part out. That parasite, it like takes over the tongue, right? And it just steals nutrients, right? You have the horsehair worm, one of my favorites. They like birth in insects and mind jack them to go to water and like expel themselves, right? They go to the water, poop out them, like they go eject themselves, and then they wait for like a bird or something to come and get them, just to repeat the cycle. And usually that kills the insect. So you know what? It's a very good way of keeping the insect population in check, because the weapon the weapon keeps going on. The weapon keeps going on, but the target is dead. It's a very good method. The cordyceps fungus also does that. It allows the host, or allows the parasite to reproduce while also killing the host. Parasitic wasps are like that too. Kill the host, allow the target, or like at least the target's offspring, right, to keep living. All of these, like they're definitely playing into the greater balance of the circle of life. Thank you, Mufasa. They're playing a delicate balance of, this ecosystem that humans are so very generously taken care of. We're so very generous with our ecosystem. We're very, very thankful for the lush trees. That's why we cut them down. We're so thankful for the animals. That's why we hunt them to extinction. This is not a veganism thing. I'm team meat, but there are there are cases of excessive meat consumption or meat production, I guess. All right. All right. Going away from that topic, new topic. Where do we build? Because all I have so far, okay, so we have this jungle. Oh, we have a lava pool, so we can get to the nether. I'm not like I would do that though, because that is right now not a very safe option. I didn't know. Oh, it's because the jungle was. It didn't have the birch forest, right? You know, this gives me an idea, actually. Hello, sir. I will need to be confiscating a tree. I just need a sapling. Okay. No, dang it, I almost had it. Am I even getting it? You know, if I could, can I please reach this vine? Oh wait, I almost had it. I almost had it. I think I'm like kissing it. Okay, you know what? New plan, brother. You know what? I was trying to do something cool, but not apparently you need to. All right. Just, okay, stick. Sapling. Watch. I'm about to do what's called a pro gamer move. That was cringe. We better make the Cam N18 or it's real mad. What's a good location? Right here. Okay, and now place my bed. Respawn. Let's, where can I see tick rate? There we go. Sorry, I was getting real impatient with that. Alright, cool. Now we have a base. I just need to, actually build up to it. For that, I wish I would have kept that stick from earlier, but you know what, who really cares? I do. I care. Why did you only make one? Or I guess 1.7. I think, does it still work? We can like place one apart. No, it doesn't. Or maybe it worked only on base level. Dude, I swear, there was like a thing where you could do it the boring way. There's a nice little vantage point. Alright, we're okay. What are we gonna do? Oh, that works. Alright, I need wood. Alright, I think there's enough wood for now. Let's get back to the forest. Let's find if there is. How very convenient that my house is about like one tree tall. Very convenient. You know, if any of you guys haven't played Slime Rancher 2, play it. This music sounds exactly like that game's OST. I mean, it could be because they both utilize the exact same like type of music. Now, a fan of symmetry, so I will be symmetricizing this house. Boom. The box. The box. Box. No, it's bee. Yeah, I don't get how people are afraid of bees, right? Because, like, if you're being realistic, what is the bee? Like, okay, if you're allergic, yeah, that's fine. I understand. Enjoy your day, right? But for everyone else who isn't allergic to bees, why are you afraid of bees? Like, what is it about bees that terrifies you to the point that you go running for the hills when you see them? Because realistically, like, okay, hornets, I get, yeah, little murder machines. Wasps, just as bad. Yellow jackets, I've never seen one, but I bet they're probably just as bad, if not worse, than the previously mentioned three. I mean, Asian giant hornet, though, would like to disagree. Or Japanese, I don't know which continent country it's from. But bees? Like, what's a bee gonna do that isn't worse to it? Like, oh yeah, you're in pain, but would you rather be dead? Because that's what the bee is. The bee is dead. You're gonna recover from that pain if you're not allergic. Bee isn't. The bee is not. There's no bringing back that bee. Half of its organs were ripped out. But yeah, look, see, it's right there. The wooden box. Aren't you all jealous of my wooden box in the sky? Okay, that's done. And now we will put up our walls. This is actually very good architecture. Because, you know, who's gonna be? Nothing can chase me up there. Spiders can't. Spiders have nothing on me. That's offensive. Some of these. That's not gonna be enough, but you know what? It's something. Something to start with. I will need more wood. I'm gonna see if I can find a cave or something. Yep. So 5. So I get 3 from each, right? And it's 5. So 5, 10, 14. So I can't have an even number. What's the crafting recipe for what's the crafting fence? Okay, so 4. So that's 1 oak log. So I need 12. Okay, so 3, 12. So I need 4, 5 of these. So I need 5 oak logs. And I don't have enough sticks. Yeah, I have enough sticks. Alright, 5 oak logs. Shouldn't be too hard. That's like 1 entire tree. Two. Alright, we're gonna finish this house and we're gonna call it quits for the week. I aim to do one of these a week. We'll switch it up from time to time. Nice. You know, I have other games like a Slime Rancher. the second one. Slime Merchant 2, Spider-Man, all three of them. Oop. I'm looking to get Project Wingman sometime soon. That could be something. For a chance. Okay. The tower is complete. I shall dub it the Rook. Because honestly, it kind of looks like a chess rook. Like, I can't zoom out any further, but, like if you look at it from the bottom, kind of looks like the top of a chess rook. Alright, well, shut up. Thank you for watching today's video. If you liked it, please, all I ask is at least a like. If you did like it, there's no pressure to subscribe. Up to you. Um, Comment. Keep them civil, please. Don't like bring anything weird into it. Don't attack anybody. This is just nice little time to chill, escape the worries of the world, and spend some time to learn about God. Not even like 5 minutes. Remember, Jesus loves you. He died for you on the cross. Thank you.